Well, welcome back to Football with Ben Roethlisberger. My name is Spence, and as always, I am joined here with two-time Super Bowl champion Ben Roethlisberger. However, I will say tonight we are a man down. That's right. You will notice Jared Lopes is not with us today. That is because this weekend was the annual Dad Tired Retreat. So he's there leading hundreds of men from all over the world. They come there. I think they're in North Carolina this year. Okay. They're reading, learning, studying how to become better husbands, better fathers. Go check that out if you're interested in that. So we don't have Jared here tonight. We're going to miss him. But Ben, I was thinking about it. I thought we need reinforcements. We're missing Jared. We need reinforcements. And who has more experience being reinforcements for Ben Roethlisberger than the man we have here tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, football and family, please let me reintroduce you to one of the greatest to ever don the black and gold, Mr. Maurkice Pouncey.
Yo, what's up? Hey, Jared, I'm sorry I had to take your space tonight. Appreciate all the success you're doing out there in the world. But, you know, I'm one of the main hosts on the show, so I had to come take your spot tonight. Yeah, that's for sure.
Spence, if you can't tell, I'm actually just saying a prayer because I never know what's going to come out of Pouncey's mouth.
Y'all know I went to the game today. It was a great success. I told Ben I'll handle myself professionally, and I showed up tonight. Little Benjamin, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It touched my heart, man.
Hold on. Let me tell the story.
Okay,
let me tell the story. But first and foremost,
I'm sorry.
We are incredibly honored. We're 53, Maurkice Pouncey. I mean, my guy, my brother. This is, this guy, I knew he was in town. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had to find out from someone. No, I'm just joking.
I text you.
I know. And he said, he goes, hey, let me know about the show. And I'm like, how are you going to be there after the game? I said, come on. And he was like, I'm there. So it didn't take any convincing, no arm twisting. My guy, so excited. The only guy I think that we've ever traveled for.
Yep.
The only time the show's on the road was to see you.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, so we knew he was coming. We're so excited. All the people that are tuning in. I've talked to probably 15 or 20 people in the last 2 days that were like talking about the show. And they're like, oh, love the show. Glad it's back. I'm like, wait till Monday night because I knew what was coming.
Ben, I'm telling you right now, hey, y'all sponsorship, get ready, man, because Giant Eagle threw out a big offer out there.
Hey. Okay, we might get sponsored.
I'm sorry.
We might get a sponsor. I don't know.
Bill Artman, shout out to Bill Artman at Giant Eagle, man. It's huge, baby. It's on.
That's right. We're excited.
Pouncey is also our agent now.
Yes, everything goes through him.
It's a $100 million deal. If the Kelsey brothers can do it, I know Ben Roethlisberger can do it. That's for sure.
Okay.
Just a quick $100 million, right?
So
I mean, y'all gotta wait. I mean, go over here. Like, let's be serious. Them dudes ain't got the accolades this guy got. And I love them dudes. Hey, Travis, what's up?
Yeah, the Kelseys are awesome. Other than they went to UC, but I never lost to UC. I never lost to UC when I was there. But I think they never lost to Miami when they were there. But either way, so anyway, Benjamin knew that Pounce was coming tonight, right? And it's late. It's past school night, Sunday night. So I'm like, Ben, you got to get in bed. We actually had a good friend of ours, Chuck Nettles, at a charity event tonight. So we went there for a little bit. Already going to be a little bit late. And it's like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, we got to get for bed. And I know Pounce is coming a little after 8:30. And he's like, Dad, I gotta see Mr. Pouncey. And I'm like, dude, I just don't think we have time for this. And so Pounce gets here. And I know he's not asleep yet. And so Ashley comes out, gives you a hug. And next thing you know, at the top of our stairs, Pounce is at the bottom. At the top of the stairs, Benjamin like peeks around the corner and Pounce sees him. He's like, my God.
Bro, my hair started standing up.
It's
wild.
I'm telling you, that young man on Christmas morning doesn't come down the stairs that fast. He's come, Spence, when I'm telling you, he came down the stairs so incredibly fast. Like it was like, like feet. I'm like, he's going down. He's gonna bite it. He's gonna eat it. He's gonna bite it.
Benjamin. I caught you.
He would have bit it and bounced right back up, and it'd been so much pain, but still, like he wasn't hurting at all. But he jumped from like the 5th stairs into his arms.
I hugged him, bro.
That's an appropriate response for Pouncey.
That's how I did the same thing. I did the same thing, but my jump wasn't as big.
The knees ain't the same, but
no,
the knees ain't the same. But honestly, like that, trust me, I'm telling you right now, like that meant the world to me because I've been around Benjamin his whole entire life. Like honestly,
he was so excited
to react that way. That shows y'all men close as dad are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how you know, man. I get his dad in that backyard out there in that horse ranch. You got to put a grip on him.
He was so excited. So I'm glad he got to see you. He'll be talking about that forever.
But bro, trust me.
Spence, I know we're gonna talk about the game because Pounce was at the game today.
Yes, I was.
we both were. We had different seats.
Were you there?
Pounce. We had. I almost texted you.
Man,
I almost
honestly,
texted
bro,
you,
I
dude.
thought I was gonna fly here. It was gonna be cold weather. I was out there sweating.
They said it was
Bro.
warm.
It was warm.
Do you know where it wasn't warm? In my chair,
Yeah, man.
right in front of my TV. It was perfect temperature.
Just so y'all know, I begged
Feet
Big
were
Ben to
up.
come to the game, and obviously, you know, this man's busy. He had a lot
My
of things
feet were
going
up.
on.
It was I was
Air
just
conditioned.
watching with my
We
kids. We
were-
were talking about the guy. I was
I just
breaking
told
it
you you're
down with the
busy,
kids.
man. I'm trying to.
Well, I was busy explaining football to my kids. I was busy. But anyway, we're going to get to the game because I got a guy we can talk ball with and talk some ins and outs and the X's and O's and the minute, is fine a word?
It is now, ladies and gentlemen.
Details.
Brought to you by Fine Newt.
Fine beer.
Football in the 7.
We
baby.
are, I was golfing this week with some guys from Ohio,
Okay.
from Dayton, Ohio, and they
You
decided.
won the tournament too. Though. I got a picture from the CEO of John Eagle. He said, "Man, tell Big Ben and say congratulations."
Listen, this show is not about me and my
I mean, bro,
accolades.
come on, tell the people, man, you won
I mean,
the tournament. Now, don't sit here and
your
tell
name
people about
is
the
in the
tournament and say
title.
you didn't win the tournament.
I
Now,
had
that'd be
I had the
wild.
trophy sitting here, and I
I saw it sitting here. I was saying,
I did.
Put it
I
up when
thought
I
you
came.
I put it away. I put it away because I didn't want the show.
trophy, bro.
I didn't want the show to be about me.
Crystal. What is that? It's made out of crystal.
It's a crystal. It's
The
a
show's
crystal
called
wine
Football and
decanter.
7. We want to be about Ben, though. Don't worry about it.
Football with who?
Yeah. Okay. Chris Klein, shout out. We did win it, but
We did win it.
but I was golfing with these amazing gentlemen from Dayton, and so they're like, "We hear you like beer," so they gave us some beer. People have been asking for us to get beer back on the show.
Yes.
So we're not going to sample it, but we are, in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to drink it.
We're
I'm not
gonna.
going to sample it. I'm going to drink it.
Let me try.
But I want
Yeah.
you. Really?
You want?
Why not?
I'll get
You
you.
don't
Yeah.
drink beer. I mean,
Tonight for that. Who is your buddy them?
I just met him.
Who we got? Who we got?
Oh, Warped Wing.
Warp Wing. We're gonna try this today, baby.
You want to?
It's gonna be still a certified today. Me and Big Ben like it. Is going to the next
Why
step.
don't I get you? I'll go get you one.
You gonna
You have mine.
Have
I'm
yours.
gonna get you. I'm gonna get my own. Have mine.
I gotta. Did y'all hear that?
You can't drink it till Spence tells you.
Yeah, we got to do the breakdown. We got.
bad.
You know,
Spence.
Pounce. You've been
Shout
on
out to
this.
Spence, man. Listen, I met one of Spence buddies today down. Where was it? Downtown.
Yeah, it's my
Pittsburgh?
brother-in-law.
It's your
Yep.
brother-in-law. He
Yep.
came right up to me, man. Listen, that was a memorable moment right there for sure.
Yeah, he was stoked, man.
Did
I
he
told
tell you
him
what I said?
What?
How crazy is that?
I told him. He's like, dude. I just met Pouncey. I'm like, I'm telling you this as your brother-in-law. You will not meet a more real person in life.
That's so real.
I'm like,
too.
Pouncey is the realest. Yeah.
That was a special point
Yes.
right there because I close you and Ben are everything you do for the show.
Well, dude, I appreciate you for taking the time to take the photo and like that's
Bro,
big time.
oh,
bro.
that's nice.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
You know
That's
what else
easy.
is nice?
What's that?
It's kind of like when you know you love somebody. Like I love my wife, Spence. I love you. I love y'all. But like you have that last bite of food on your plate. Real love is when you share that last bite with somebody.
100%.
Real love is when you have a beer sitting in front of you and you share it with your brother. So
That's what I'm saying.
That's love, brother.
And you gave me your beer.
I gave you
the
my
simple
beer.
fact that Ben Roethlisberger got up out of his seat and went to go grab Maurkice Pouncey a beer.
That's love.
That's how you know it's gonna be the number one show in America.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Look at that. Look at
We
that.
sound, baby.
Those
We
two
sound.
right
All
there.
right, Spence, give it to
All
us
right.
so
So
we can have this and enjoy
This is a beer from Warped Wing Brewing Company. All right. This is called Fly Light Lager. It's 4% alcohol by volume from Dayton, Ohio. Really, it's a nice little bio here, right? So it's a solid, easy to drink. Oh, yes, sir. Good
Sorry,
noise.
I didn't mean to
it's,
do that
No,
to
it's
you.
a good noise. That's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Man.
It's a solid, easy to drink classic light beer, the kind that's always in your fridge because you know it's good. Best enjoyed with your best buds. We're doing it right, folks.
You see what I'm saying?
We're doing it right.
Footballing with 7, baby.
Hey.
Share a pint,
Yes,
share a
sir.
pint, share a pint, make a friend.
All right. Let me know what you
try
guys
it?
think. Go for it.
see.
I'll go in with you.
You don't have to chug it, Pounds. Okay, well, and welcome to the show. And
It's light. That's a good beer.
it is good. That's nice. Mine's gonna last for a little while. Unlike
Shout out to
Pounce's.
Dayton, Ohio. Wow.
That's right up the road from Miami, Ohio. That's why. That's
Shout out to Finland, Ohio, man. You know I hit the home run there for your
you
softball.
did. You
remember that?
MVP. MVP
There
in the
you
Ohio
go.
softball game, charity
Yes,
softball
sir.
game.
That
Good
is
for
a
you.
good beer.
I'm gonna chug this for the company, man.
Oh, boy, here
I'm gonna
we
start
go.
the show off right, baby.
So let's go to my camera.
Sorry.
That's good. That was good. That's good. We're gonna set this right here in front of
That's
you.
empty, bud.
Okay, we're gonna set this guy right here in front of you a little bit.
Okay,
this guy a little
but
bit
that's
further
cool though,
away.
man.
I know it is.
Shout out to Twin P Whiskey too.
Hey, there you
though.
go. Little product
I
placement.
know they're gonna edit this stuff, but shout out to Twin P Whiskey, man. This is the #1 whiskey in the world right here. The
Well,
Pouncey Twins.
The Pouncey Twins.
Yes,
We
sir.
put that out just for you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Is this your company too?
We own that company. Shout out to JF Hayden's. 25 different states.
Or it's just
Pounce, you're making legitimate moves.
No,
with
I will
this,
say
man.
that. Let me stop bullshitting around.
It's okay. We can edit that out, I'm sure.
Let me stop playing around. JFL is in 25 different states now. We actually branded with the Hard Rock. So they took our mango and our lychee nationally, even in the UK. So it's been, honestly, I would tell people all the time,
really
like,
big
the news that we got with our company, honestly, I feel like I got drafted all over again. I was running around the house like
So he told me this. I
screaming.
feel like I got drafted again.
That's
I swear,
awesome,
bro.
bro.
Like, honestly, like they
Doing good things.
our
You and your
company's
brother, right? You and your brother.
Yeah.
That's
So
just-
we own Tropical Distillery down there in Miami.
To you,
Then
man.
we own Firelands Winery in Sandusky, Ohio. So the companies that took a big height in the company. Obviously, we took a big footprint in the United States, and it's been a blessing, honestly. Like, I can't say enough about it. Like, we got a great team. Obviously, our distribution company, we're very, very thankful for them, but it's been a blessing, bro.
I think that's one of the cool things about you watch a guy that was so successful playing football for so long and at the highest of levels, Hall of Fame guy, all pro, Pro Bowl. I mean, all the accolades in the world of football. But when it's over, it's not like it's like I'm just like I'm done. Like football is what he did for a time in his life. We talk about that on this show a lot. Like football's it's what I did. It's not who I am. It doesn't
100%.
define who I am. My walk with Jesus, my family, those things define who I am. Like I love what you're doing because football is what you did for a moment, a brief moment of your life. Now, albeit important, it put you on the map. It gave you the opportunity to do what you're doing now.
100%.
But it's not like he's just done with it. It's just so I'm so proud of you. Every time you give me
appreciate
updates,
that.
checking in on you, seeing how things are going. It's
I
like, man,
appreciate that.
we've grown to here, and it's just I'm just so happy for you, man. I know it's
I feel like
it's
I'm
just cool.
I tell people all the time, man, I feel like I'm a high schooler all over again. Like, man, you know how you start in little league, then you go to high school, then you go to college, and now you're at the NFL. Once you make the NFL, like, there's so much work you got to put in once you make it. I feel like I'm all over at little league again, learning the business aspect, learning the breakage fees, the whole distribution process, learning how liquor companies run.
We were doing a whole new. I mean, it's all like you
100%.
mastered your craft,
100%. And now
playing
I'm
football and playing
100%.
center, and now you're doing something completely different, and you're trying to master
You got
that,
to take
which
a
is
practice
awesome.
approach of it because you come from so much success, and then obviously you get around a whole bunch of people in a whole different field, and you learn a whole different aspect of the business part of it. And I think me and Mike are very, very intrigued a part of it, and we take an appreciating part of it. Like, everything's not given to you. Like, you got to literally go out there and work for it outside of like the sports part of it. Like, this is a whole business aspect. No one cares about the sports aspect in this business world. You know what I mean? Like, you got to gain that relationship part. And I think we did a great job of it so far.
Do you think the sports like at least got you in the door, get you in the door for
100%.
stuff?
That helps out
Which is
immediately.
huge.
Trust me, it puts you around the right amount of people. But I honestly, they got to see what you are. They got to see if you believe in it. See if you like actually know what you're talking about. Like, see if you like gain educational part or even the process and the whole business thing of it.
Right.
Like, for me, I'm telling y'all, like, it's such a weird experience because you're so used to, like, when we walk in the door, everything's laid out for you. But this part of it, like, you got to like gain the success over
gotta-
time.
yeah, you gotta earn it,
the
right?
relationship, it's a real earned process.
So you and Mike obviously are so close, and you guys are, I mean, like brothers.
Are we?
My question is, do you guys like in the aspect of like what you're doing? Do each of you like maybe you like the business side of it, he likes the sales side, or you all is it like do you guys have different interests inside of it, or is it all pretty much
There's different opinions for sure.
okay?
But you have
Do you guys argue about it, or you guys always
100%.
who wins the argument? Depends. Who's the third party? Oh, okay,
Come on now.
There it is. Okay, enough.
Give it to
Sorry,
Hey, Mike, what's
Sorry,
up, baby?
Mike. Sorry,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
But nah, he wins some of them. But I think we just we motivate each other. Like, the argument part is cool of it because you see the different views of it and the different viewpoints of it. But it weighs itself out. But eventually, by the end of the day, you know what I mean. So I think we did a good part of like joining forces of that part and to be able to listen to each other. Because when I was a lot younger, trust me, Ben knows. I mean, it was hard to tell me the other view of it, you know what I mean? But I think as you get older, you start taking in comprehension and
grow,
understanding that
you
part
learn,
of life.
yeah, for sure.
You start learning a different process of it.
Well, you're doing great things, man. I'm super excited for you. I think that you have a question about
Yeah,
something?
no, I'm just curious because I feel like business and professional athletics, I think you see a lot of professional athletes go into business ventures, after playing, obviously, to keep, producing revenue. But I also think there's something competitive in the business world, too. What's the biggest thing you've learned as a professional athlete that has helped you as a businessman?
Like Ben said, it puts you in the front door of people, but I think you got to be a lot less prideless of things. Like, they hit you with different aspects. Like, you think like it's supposed to roll out this way for you, and it really doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn. You got to take the losses from it, like, and then you obviously upgrade from it. You know what I mean? So I think I took a good part of that, like being such a big spectrum of football. and then going to the business world, like it's a whole different lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like people don't view the same exact way. Like when looking on TV and thinking like you got everything figured out, but when on the business side of it, like you got to take like the positives from it, the negatives from it, and you kind of figure it out as you go. You know what I mean? So I think I'm still learning from it. Trust me, I'm a great listener. I take a lot of advice from a lot of people, like on the business side of it. You know what I mean? I don't walk in there feeling like I know everything, like I did football. Because when you start football, you start from little league, then you go to high school, then you go to college, and then you got to go to the NFL, and then work yourself up from the NFL. Once you finally make it, it's such a lot of groundwork you got to put into it. But the business side of it, I feel like more than anything, like we take advice from people, like especially like big time people that got big time decisions, and they're sitting in a different spectrum of wherever we thought we could be at in life. And then I think they've been, honestly, I will say I got very, very lucky, like with the people and the guidance that I have around, my financial advisor, my business partners, and obviously the partnership that we done gained with like Giant Eagle, Publix, the Hard Rock Nationwide. So like some of them things that taught you in a different aspect of life, and you look at it totally different. So I'm very, very thankful to the people that came in our life and that helped us at like the path that we took in it. But trust me, I tell people all the time, I don't know enough yet. You know what I mean? I'm still learning that part of it. Like I tell me anything, I'm not going to look at you differently. Yeah. I'm just going to take the advice and keep rolling up the punches. You know?
You're still playing team sport, man.
100%.
That's cool, 100%. Man.
It's got to be. I mean, I know we'll get into the game, but like if you lose a football game, it's like, okay, I can go film study, I can go work out, and like, you know, when things don't go your way in sports, there's a way that you can try and get better. Yeah. When things don't work in business, it's not like you can just go to a gym and try and like go
turn
lift.
Around the door the next day. Like,
yeah,
man,
it's like
you gotta face it front on. Like, listen, I made this mistake.
Different patience.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Man. Trust me. I done failed in life on the business side of it. We had a pre-workout company that go thought with like I think you've seen it sales direction before, but it didn't go how we expected. You know what I mean? So like I think that was one of our things. Like, man, we thought we was gonna be full force with it, and then kind of like rode the other wave, and then we see the other side of business now, like how the alcohol company is. I'm just telling you right now, like. We've been on blessed. Not only me and Micah, the careers we had and the connections we had, the relationship we had, but our product's amazing. I mean, like lychee martinis, espresso martinis, the number 2 drinks on the menus right now. So honestly, I think that aspects of life has taken us to a whole different spectrum. But we're very, very thankful for the partnerships and the people that came around our life to help us out. I will tell you that, because I'm telling you right now, it gets deep in that water if you don't know anything you got going on. That's for sure.
No, I believe it. Real quick, hey, Pouncey, you might just bring that microphone down just a little bit.
Right here?
Yeah, just out of your face, kind of like the boom.
We want to see your face.
Yeah, we're gonna see you, man. Listen,
you can listen.
I can jump over there. There you go.
This is about big men. This ain't about pounds.
And then just go ahead, turn that up just a little bit up, like
right here.
Boom. There you go. Ben's the production guy here.
Listen, they get on me because I don't.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Talk loud enough.
Yeah, I just know people want to see. Hey, look at that.
Y'all had y'all new guests, man. You know, I've had the microphone right now. You know what I mean? Who's the new host? Jared?
Hey,
is it Jared?
Jared.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Jared, man. I know you got a lot of things going on, but listen, I'm the host of today.
Welcome to Football with Maurkice Pouncey.
The Center Q Exchange.
Yes. Which would be a phenomenal podcast.
It would be a great podcast.
What are we doing? I'm getting out of here.
What are we doing? No,
Spence, you better not go nowhere.
Yeah,
we started this thing with you.
We can't push buttons.
We
started this.
You're the magic man over there. Let's talk about the game today.
Amazing.
3-0 Steelers.
Wow.
Someone asked me tonight what I thought. I think going into this season, if I with the unknowns, I knew our defense would be good. I thought at this point in preseason, I was like, man, I think just going on the road, I said 1-2. I thought might be where we were, maybe 2-1.
The first two teams you played?
I didn't know. Going into Atlanta, I thought it could be tricky. I didn't know about Denver because of the new quarterback, but you just going on the road is hard. You know that.
100%.
Like if we get one of those two, we might. And I thought Chargers coming in, good Herbert, good team.
Crazy. He surprised me playing today.
I know a high ankle that quick. That's not easy to do. We both have been there. That's brutal. But 3-0, I think is I don't know. So Steelers aren't surprised. Obviously, you're never surprised at the team. But as a fan, I'm not sure what the general consensus is from Steeler fans. But I think 3-0 is a great place to be. I think there's still some questions, but I think today, in my opinion, if I gave an overall summary of the game, I would say today was a statement game. I thought this team the Chargers came in, a good football team, 100%. Well coached, physical, really good defense, top ranked, one of the top ranked defenses. What I heard, it was a really good offensive line.
Yeah, they got a really good line.
Really good run game. They haven't had to use Herbert yet. Like I think he's been throwing for like 150, 170 some yards a game, so they haven't needed to use him.
I seen a stat where he threw like 92 times on first down. I'm like, man, some of that stuff got to change. Like, that's on the coordinator right there. Like, come on now.
You got to figure that out.
I ain't gonna say that before the Steelers game, but they got to figure that part out.
Yeah. No kidding.
Like run the ball, run the ball on first down. Like, come on, that's easy. That's easy defense at that point.
It knows, you know what's going on. I think that. So I did, but I was like, this was a statement game. Like we out physicaled them. And I know at one point Spence texted me. It was like 10-10 at halftime.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was there. Like it felt like okay, they're just like
they're playing around with them.
Yeah. Like we didn't do that. Like we didn't deserve to be tied. It felt like they were. And then in the second half, the Chargers. Now I know Herbert went down, but it wasn't like he was like doing something crazy special.
No.
And I was like, I think they got like -6 yards of offense in the second half as the chart. Like that's mind blowing. That is I don't know how that even happens.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that shows how good our defense is, or if that's how bad the offensive coordinator is for the Chargers.
I think yes and, which means I think both, because I think our defense is very good.
Amazing. They are.
I think it shows, like, obviously we lost Alex today at one point, who was playing well, which it hurts us. But the good thing is, Herbert, nope. Herbig. There's too many Herberts.
I know, right? I always get that messed up too.
Yeah,
like, he's a little baller though. Nick's a little baller.
Yeah. Man.
He's a baller.
I mean, and I'm not saying that
he had a sack.
Sack fumble.
Okay, yeah.
Sack fumble. He came around the side, got a sack fumble.
He played really good.
I'm not saying that, Alex is a level, TJ's like, you can't compare him to TJ. Alex is right there. As a great football player. I'm not trying to put Herbig in that category yet, but the nice thing is when you lose a guy like Alex, you don't, like today, it wasn't like it wasn't a drop off. And that's nice, because then you can tell Alex, hey, make sure you're ready for it. You don't have 100%. To rush him back.
100%.
I think that I think maybe that's what they try to do with our rookie lineman. Now he's going to be out for a while.
Fatanu.
I think they rushed. I mean, I'm not a medical person, but you rush someone
back.
back.
On the sideline. He walked around good today, but I think he had the same thing DeCastro had. Remember when I played? When DeCastro played with us, I think he did a kneecap thing. So,
but let me ask you this as a lineman. This is a perfect question. So, tell the people. You can you got a dinged up knee, ankle, something like that. Okay, you're not good enough to play, but you can walk around and like someone says, "Oh, I saw Pouncey jogging before the game." How much different is it to jog, maybe even run straight ahead, and feel like you're maybe 60, 70 running, but then get on the field and have to push on another man that's 300 and some pounds, right? I mean, it's a different ball game, right?
Difficult, and I'm telling you right now, like, I don't think people have enough appreciation when guys actually go out there with like a high ankle sprain or a knee sprain. And they have to actually go out there and have to play football. Football is hard. I know what anyone says, like what they put in their mind. Like when you see a lot of athletes out there and they're at the top of their level, like football looks really, really easy. But you take yourself out there and go out there and try to play football. Like football gets extremely hard, especially when you're dealing with injury. I hate it for players sometimes, because they got to do 3 times as much to be out there and go and look like the same player they were, or the same player they were for that season.
Good point.
All the work they put in for the whole entire offseason, it gets washed away by one simple injury. You know what I mean? So I hate that for guys, but I would tell guys at the same time, like, man, keep your head positive. Like, it's not about what the outside aspects thinks of what you are. You know what I mean? Like, you got to stay focused on what your team is and who you are as a player. You know what I mean? Like, that drive you to get better. You know what I mean?
And is it I wonder too, like as a lineman, because you're using your upper body a lot, pushing, punching, pulling, doing all that kind of stuff. Is it different to go out there with like a knee injury as compared to like an elbow, wrist, shoulder, or is it all? Or it just depends on what it is. Which upper body, lower body is harder?
I would say lower body is a lot harder, especially the amount of impact we got to have come on. Like you get like mentally, not only like physically, but mentally. When you say your ankles hurt, your knees hurt, like, man, your elbow can hurt for a little bit. You know, as a lineman, you know what I mean? Your wrist be hurt a little bit. You can wear a little cast, but like when your lower body's an extremity, and that is painful. Like, man, it takes your whole game to a whole nother aspect. Like, it makes football 100 times harder. 100%.
Yeah. And people don't realize too that when you go on the field, you have adrenaline like kicking through your body.
Yes.
Like I wonder, it'd be interesting to check like a scientific study.
I'm on it.
Of like the amount of adrenaline that is pumping through an athlete during sport. And I'm not saying like question. Baseball or basketball doesn't have the adrenaline, but like football, when you're going out to like, you're about to go car crash, like there has to be some sort of adrenaline. Like I know there is. I'm not saying there isn't.
What about the anxiety side of it?
Yeah.
Waking up that morning knowing you got a football game, like, man, most players can't.
I remember how hard it was to sign up to sleep.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro,
it used to be hard. It got easier as I got older. As the game got bigger, it would be like tricky. But you're right. Like,
no one understands. Like when you're a fan, you wake up normally. You're going to a tailgate. The game starts at 1:00. But when you're a player, Everything's running through your mind. The plays you got to go through, the defense you're playing. Like it's a lot more bigger aspect in your head. You know what I mean?
Did you ever play the game in your head the night before or after?
1,000%. Like, man, what play am I going to make? Like, what player are they going to call? The first play of the game always drive me crazy. Like, you're going to do a run or a pass. You know what I mean?
This is
like,
what I got to do. I got to
play
do
a lot more than you picking up the top 10. But
I remember I would do that at night. I'd go through the whole game in my head, and by the time I was like, the game was over, I threw for like 600 yards.
You was playing Madden.
I was like, okay, this first
honestly,
play,
I used to tell my brother, like, I tell people all the time, I promise you, I hate to say this stuff because I love all our backup quarterbacks. But Mike used to argue with me all the time. He was like, man, I don't think you understand. When you play with a franchise quarterback and a guy like how Big Ben is, as a player-wise, you walk into every single game, like you walk in there, I'm telling y'all, I don't think y'all understand the mental aspect that comes with that. Like you walk in there every single game, you think you're going to win a football game. My brother was like, he used to explain this to me all the time. We used to argue after every game, like, man, you don't understand what it's like. Like, I'm playing, I don't take this from any other player. Like, Chad Henne did he play with, Ryan Tannehill did he play with. Like, them guys were great quarterbacks. Like, they were good players. They played in the NFL. Like, don't take me, like, NFL, to play in the NFL takes it takes a big accomplishment to do it. But when he played with them, and then Mason came in the 1 year, right? And I've been so grateful for this guy my whole entire career. And then Mason gets in there. We had a phenomenal season. Don't get me wrong, but like it was always that moment in there, like, why is he holding the ball this long? Why ain't the ball out right here? Like, why ain't we make this play down the field? Like, and Mike and when Mason got in there, I called Mike after like 3-4 games, right? And I promise you, I can't make this stuff up. I say, bro, I promise you, all them years I've been arguing with you, I'm sorry. Like real time, like I take everything I ever seen back. Like, listen, I get what you're saying now. Like, unless you had that guy, and the crazy part, I will say, my brother got very, very blessed to get his last 3 years of NFL career. He got to go out there and play with Phillip Rivers, the Chargers. So he got to see the other side of football. Now, I'm telling you, I laugh about this stuff all the time because I took it for granted. To play with this dude right here and to have football go out there, I'm telling you, like, there was no fear in our heart. Like, we always knew that we had a guy out there to lead the team in the right way. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, like, they say all the time, I almost cussed on the show and I'm sorry. They always say that the defense wins football games, and it does. It wins championships for sure. But if you don't have a franchise quarterback, you won't make it to the championship. 1,000%. And we got very, very lucky. I tell people all the time, like, man, my career, I played 11 years with Big Ben Roethlisberger. Hell yeah. I'm sorry. Heck yes.
It's all right.
Heck yes. I made a lot of accolades on myself. I made a lot of Pro Bowls and All Pros. But I'm telling you right now, without this man right here, without Le'Veon Bell, without Antonio Brown, without Hines Ward, without Heath Miller, Maurkice Pouncey would never been Maurkice Pouncey. I can guarantee you that. And I'm very, very thankful for the accolades I have for them guys there. And I'm very, very truthful about all that stuff. Like, I don't care what anyone says in the NFL. If you don't have a team, without team success, there's no individual success.
No doubt.
And I don't know.
We should always say, you guys want to get paid. Team does it first.
Team first. I'm telling you right now, if you want to do it the right way, team first, and everything else trickles itself down 100%.
Well, it's very kind. I mean, we don't need to talk about me.
But then, I mean,
tell me another story.
Come on, let's be serious.
No, I used to
talking about you, bro. Like, I'm just telling the truth. Like,
Pounce, I say this. You know that. It's the same. I used to say the same thing.
No,
like, I'm not going out there without him.
No. Hey, listen. We're not going to hit that BS Ben's talking about right now.
Okay.
Like,
well, then let's talk about the game.
All right, let's go to the game. Without Ben Roethlisberger,
they don't have a center though, like Pouncey. What do you think about the center, our rookie center? What do you think?
I will say, man. Listen, I know I said a lot of good things about the other linemen in the past, and I said, man, all these great things about them. But I think I had to say that stuff. I met this kid, and I've been watching him play football in West Virginia. I think he's gonna be a solid kid, man. He's gonna be a great kid for the university. I was about to say University of Florida. Wow, that's crazy.
Once a Gator.
Because
you can take the kid out the swamp, but you can't take the swamp out the kid.
State, baby.
Is that your first one of the year?
No, cut it out, Ben.
Okay, sorry. No, let's get back. Hold on, talk about the kid.
The kid. That's nasty. I know we lost to Miami. Shout out to Miami. But listen.
Miami, Ohio?
I'd rather lose to Miami, Ohio than the University of Miami.
I think he's got like a great, like, again, it's early. I never like to judge a guy until 2 or 3 years in, but just from what, that's why I loved having you on here, because I want to see like what your thoughts were. But like from watching, the little bits that I saw, like it's like he looks like he's got a little bit of nasty, like a little bit extra, a little extra.
I've seen a couple of pancakes a day.
He's got a little bit extra that you want to see some extra. Not to the point where you're going to cost a team, but just a little extra.
He know how to walk away. He kind of like, you remember Cody?
Yes, Cody. Yeah, the neighbor.
He like Cody.
He's the neighbor.
The neighbor. Shout out the neighbor, man. Shout out the neighbor.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra, and then he'll kind of drive into the ground and then walk away. And the guy's so mad.
He did that today.
He made call like I heard him making some calls today, which is good for a rookie. I know. Listen, we're judging everything against the guy, but
man,
Pouncey did it all. But what I saw, like I guess I would ask you, like in terms of without watching film and stuff, does he have it? Because what you had that was unique was the ability to pull. Centers don't pull very often, correct? But when you have an athletic guy that's smart enough that can do it, why not?
100%.
Do you think that you can see that in his future potentially, or
100%? But that's always that's what the team you play with too. Like you got to have a coordinator that has the ability to be able to call them different type of plays. But I think looking at him, he could be a staple here at the Steelers. Honestly, talking to him today in the field, like seeing his motivation.
Does he have like a little bit of like fire?
Coach too before he, like he's super smart kid.
Okay,
obviously had a great career at the University of West Virginia. So I'm honestly, the Steelers need that. I'm tired of them talking about me.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna talk about you. I'm gonna talk about you forever.
Bro, like, man, listen, you know how I am.
Can he handle the big nose?
100%.
Yeah, so he's strong enough.
100%.
He's got
solid.
Because
dude.
you were never
great
the biggest.
Base,
you were
great,
never the
great
biggest center.
Never.
But you had this. You outbeat a guy. You outworked a guy. Having smarts, right? You got to have that little tricks of the trade. Now he'll pick that up, I'm sure, as he goes.
Yeah, 100%.
The
game will slow down to him as he grows as a player. But I think he has all the ability, obviously the physical ability, the mental ability to be a great football player for the Steelers. 100%.
Hey, you heard
the
it
craziest part. Omar came and had me personally go talk to him. So obviously the Steelers think highly of him. So I trust me. I'm on board with him. Trying 100%.
Enough said.
Hey,
next.
You got my vote.
Right.
You got my vote.
Next. I mean,
you get the Pouncey cosign as a center.
Absolutely. What else you want?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, he got Steeler Nation cosign too. Now.
Well, I think they like the West Virginia is right down the road. It's tough. It's blue collar. It's what
100%.
It's what you want, right? You don't want a center from like Florida or something.
How long you been around? Hey, cut that out. Cut that out. We got to cut that part. We're gonna edit that part. I don't worry about it. Wow.
No, I think I worry about receiver, like another guy, another playmaker.
Pickens is amazing though. They do got to bring another one. 100%.
And I know that people want to see. Is it Roman Wilson?
And then Austin, the guy that was hurt.
Calvin Austin made a great play today. Great play today. He can run, but he's not your two.
No,
and I'm not sure because I haven't seen it. I don't know. It is Roman Wilson.
Roman Wilson. Yeah.
I'm not sure Roman Wilson's your needle mover. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. Is he a number two? Is he a two in the NFL?
Hey, y'all know, listen, I'm on Football in 7 right now. I ain't gonna let Ben sit up here and lie to y'all, man. Listen, we need a number 2 receiver.
Well, I think they probably thought they were getting Brandon Ayuk. I think they had to think that. If you didn't try for anything else, I don't know. Anyway.
Do you know something we don't? Hey, Pouncey, do you know something we don't?
I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything, y'all. You know what? I'm going to let Ben say whatever he just...
Pounce has the inside scoops.
Yeah. Pounce knows people.
But I love seeing Pat Freiermuth get more involved. I think that's huge. I think them working in the field today. I do too. Listen,
I think Pat's amazing.
Pat's awesome, and I love that. But again, that's just if I'm nitpicking on Omar and where I think that they could still improve.
In the receiver,
they need another good receiver. And I'm excited to see.
Are you being biased when you're a quarterback?
I mean, maybe. You know me; I'm always going to want lineman first, but they got a good young center.
But they do though. Honestly, I think they got a good core. So that's the biggest thing with the Steelers right now. I think they got a good core group, so they can build outside of that. I think they better do a good job of next year leading into it because you know how it is, bro. Like, listen, you don't want the defense to fall apart. They got a lot of great players right now. Like, you got them under contract. Like, you don't want to wait from that part. Like, let everything build into
you can't
what we
waste
have
this
going
defense.
On.
This defense is really good.
100%.
Like, they have depth. I know the corner back spot is maybe like a question.
We got great safeties though, so that helps.
Unbelievable. There's no doubt.
100%.
And I don't want to get away from the Steelers, but I do want to hit this because I think I don't know how well you know, but Derwin James is a difference. I mean, you saw early in the game. I remember texting you like, "Hey, note to self." There's a reason he's all pro. There's a reason. I mean, there was a screen early in that game where both tight ends went to block him, and he went by him like a bullet.
Crazy.
He's Minka-like.
Well, you know he's from Polk County, where I'm from. So I just got to say that. So
there it is.
Florida.
Now it all makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
All makes sense. But
that's that Zephyr Hills water we drinking out there. Shout out to Zephyr Hills, man.
Flying.
Shout out Zephyr Hills.
And I thought he makes. He's a good player
too. Like,
he's
honestly,
super aggressive.
He loves hitting people. Like he can cover really, really well.
Yeah,
he's super,
it's just
super
you're talking
fast,
about safeties. I mean, Minka's the same way. He's a Minka and him. I think they're. You talk about some of the best safeties in the game. Man, oh man.
1 and 2.
But I just had to say it because I was like giving him his props because he was.
Honestly.
It's a different level. I remember that play. I was like Pat was going to block him, and then Washington was going to block him, and he went by like as they were turning to block, he was already passed. I'm like, I'm telling you, like that's different level stuff.
100%. And that's where he's at. That's why he has the accolades he has. That's why we talk about him so much, honestly.
The other thing that I sent him is we're talking about DBs and different level stuff was the first touchdown the Chargers threw. It was they pumped the flat. Herbert pumped the flat, got JPJ to bite that. I heard someone say that there were only 10 guys in the field during that play.
But give me an honest opinion about Herbert.
Well, no, okay. Well, here's
I
what I'm
gotta
going
hear
to say.
that because as a quarterback view, I think he's amazing.
I think he's a good football player.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, let me tell you about this play. So here's what I'll tell you about this play. That play to me was, I could be wrong, but what I would observe was a quarterback, a coordinator, whoever it was, watching film, knowing that Joey Porter Jr. is an aggressive,
100%.
Go get it.
100%.
He got that snap. He looked to the flat so fast that Joey came flying up and bit on it so quick, knowing it's just that's film study.
He's gonna make a play,
and he hit the little hole shot behind before Minka could get over there. That play happened and developed so fast that it made me think like that's film. That is like film study, and so I think I think he's a top level quarterback.
100%.
I think he's one of the top tier guys. If he's not in that top tier, he is just outside it, but I think he's in the top tier.
That's good to hear.
I think that he can do a lot of things. I think he can extend plays with his legs, so he's dangerous. He's dangerous both ways.
I'm glad he couldn't run today.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm glad he was walking wounded today.
Hey, Herbert, I hate to say that, but man, thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think he's a very good football player. But I did enjoy the film study, even though it went against us for a touchdown. The film study of like being aggressive on something like that. That was. I always loved the film study.
Honestly, people kind of compare him to you, how big he is, like how tough he is as a player. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks how you were. You know what I mean?
They're getting smaller now.
You're almost 6'6".
They're getting smaller.
You were 240 pounds and you play like, bro, it's hard to take you down.
Probably a little bigger than that, but
I'll take that back. 230? Sorry. You got weigh-ins or something?
Probably a little more than that.
255.
We're gonna move on.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Okay. What else we got to talk about the team? I mean, we got a lot to talk about the game. We got to talk about the quarterback. We're not going to talk about the quarterbacks yet because that's always a hot topic. Our defense.
Yeah, hold on. No.
Well, I got to talk about the defense,
topic, bro. Like,
no, we're going to get to it.
Okay.
I want to say this.
Dedicate proper time.
Yeah, proper time.
That's what it is.
I do
because I want to hear that.
I want to go to the defense because you can't talk about a game and not talk about TJ.
Wow.
Because to me,
Phenomenal.
TJ affects the game even when he's not making plays.
Absolutely.
Right? False starts, holdings, all kinds of crazy penalties. I don't know how I do know because this is why I remember I want to ask this question to you because I told Ashley this as we were talking about it. She's like, you can't talk about that because you're going to give away a secret. I'm like, well, just let Ben Pouncey talk about this.
Let us handle this, Ash. Shout out to Ashley.
He got one of his sacks. He timed up the head bob, right? The second head bob.
It's so smart.
I mean, to the point where like I wanted them to slow it down to show it because I'm guessing that the ball was snapped as he was crossing, which we saw in the Atlanta game, the first game, they called it on him, but he's like, no, I timed it. He times it up so perfect, and he gets it. The tackle, who's the first pick, who I think is a pretty good tackle.
Amazing tackle, honestly.
He didn't have a prayer.
Chance.
And he's around you so fast. I mean, I would say this too, because I talk about the TJ effect. I thought there was a play that they called early in the game. They called a hold on that kid. I don't think it was. I mean, I think it could have went both ways. Listen, TJ gets held a lot worse in a lot more plays. Yeah. But it's the TJ effect.
But TJ know how to sell it too, though.
It's the TJ effect.
I've practiced around him a long time.
Yes. He's very good. Yeah. He knows how to get the calls. But either way, my point is saying this. He knows how to time it up. So I was telling Ashley, I'm like, that's where Pouncey and I, or the line would come to me like, he's getting it like ow.
Yeah, hurry
Someone
up.
will come, hey, give me a 3, give me a 1. Like you got to mix it up. You got to. And we used to get TJ in practice.
But that just shows
TJ, I got you.
But that shows the level of quarterback, the veteran quarterback in there. Like
Well, and a rookie lineman is probably not saying anything either.
We got Justin Fields in there. I ain't taking nothing from Justin Fields, but like, man, it's hard for the lineman to come up here and tell him something like that when he has so much stuff going on in his head.
Yeah, you got a lot to think about. I get that. Yeah,
100%.
But my point is saying that it's just TJ being TJ that he can time up that head bob. He can time up the snap count. Like I said that on this show. I said when they come back to Pittsburgh and it's the silent count, it's over. He's gonna feast.
Kill it.
And that's what he did.
But TJ, that's why I say that's what makes him great though. Like TJ puts in the extra film time. Like, man, when you see him out there, like, is that he's a true professional. He does everything the right way. He eats the right way. He shoots the right way. He comes out and performs the right way. Like everything about him, when you look at him, is a professional athlete. And that's the thing I tell athletes all the time. Like, take advantage of your craft. There's other people out there working. If you think you're working hard, there's other people out there working harder than you. You know what I mean? So me and my brother, we got a 10U football team now.
Well, I definitely we're gonna talk about that. I want to hear about that.
So I tell them all the time, like, listen, I take a lot of things you taught us. You know, I tell my, Caden Pouncey is our quarterback. You know what I tell him, Ben? Quarter in the pocket. You see what I'm saying? Hey,
I love when I tell someone. We'll get to that. But when I talk to someone about throwing the ball, I'm always like, okay, I want you to grab that quarter out of the other pocket, and they're like, what? I'm like, let me call Pounce. I said, if you call Pounce right now and say, hey Pounce, when I throw it, what am I supposed to do with my hand? He'll say, get the quarter out of the pocket.
Put it right in there, baby. Put it right in there. That's spot on every time. Like, trust me, 100%.
Oh man, but yeah, I thought the defense was good. I thought Cam played well today.
He did.
I thought he had the sack.
I did see him on his knees a little bit, and it was like the third, fourth play in, he missed a tackle, but I ain't gonna hold him on it.
He's getting older.
Is he?
He's getting older.
I mean, he just signed a new deal. Like, when you sign new deals, I mean, it made you younger.
I know.
When that money come in. Yeah. Made me younger. Hey, Spence, made me younger.
Those commas have a way of doing that. You know what I'm
saying? Right.
Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. By the way, I was so mad. Think about this. This isn't. I mean, it is offense. But Boz, I wanted Boz to make that one.
Man,
they should have a stat.
He barely missed it. Though.
If you miss outside of 60, it shouldn't count against you. Right. But it should count for you, but not against you.
3 points, you get 1.
I mean, something.
If you barely miss it, right?
Just barely miss, you get 1 point.
We so long, man. We want points no matter experience. We want points no matter what.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like that would be embarrassing though? Like, as a kicker, if you missed it and they gave you like a sympathy point,
no,
like
not as hard as this game is. Like, I tell you right now, we're taking that we get.
You're like, oh yeah, I got
here's one
point for trying.
Oh, it's like when quarterbacks throw a Hail Mary and they throw an interception. It's like the worst interception ever because you're like, that was stupid.
But what about Colorado? I know you've seen Shadir.
I did. I was asleep and I woke up just for that. I'm like, this is
How
unbelievable.
Crazy was that?
That was the craziest. That was unbelievable. And then to win it the way they wanted.
That lucky, honestly.
That was unbelievable. Well, the guy dropped it a play before. That was even, the guy went up like this 100%. And dropped that one
and
first.
He throws it out there and
what
the kid trips over the other player. Like,
crazy.
Shout out to Colorado.
But no, offense. The things that, so if I break down that offense today without getting to the quarterback play, really, like, I like they used the middle of the field today.
He did.
We've been talking, Steeler fans have been talking about that for like 2 years now. Let's get the middle of the field.
100%.
Now, people will say like the stats like weren't, maybe the run game wasn't pretty, but it was a battle of attrition. It was efficient. I thought Justin Fields was efficient. I 100%. Thought he did really well. I thought
no turnovers.
No turnover. Well, he had to pick, but it was like batted up 20 times. That's the worst.
I can't count that one.
I know.
That's like when we played the Jaguars that year. And you know what I mean?
Is that the one that you caught and you got -2 yards?
Ben, hold on now. I was almost at 5. Spence. If I'd have got 1 yard, he would have blocked somebody. He would have made 5,000 yards passing that year.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he went like 2 yards. He went like 4,009.
That's on
989 or something. But
that one's on him.
But Pounce almost took it to the house. Real talk. Yeah. I ain't gonna play around. AB, hey, you ain't got nothing on me, baby. That real.
You're so funny. We had a lot of laughs about that one. The catch.
How crazy was that though?
But I love they used the middle of the field. I love the guys got involved. I mean, they showed that you can have a big day without Pickens being the only one doing something.
100%.
I thought what I like too about, I will start talking about the quarterbacks a little bit. We talked about on this show last week when people were like, who should play? And I said, even if Russ is healthy, I would stick with Fields.
Yes.
I said he's been playing well enough. He's winning. He's not turning the ball over. And not that I didn't get a lot of backlash. It's just people want to talk about it. And I think today, what I saw today was him taking more chances throwing the ball.
He did.
Which people, that might have been one of the knocks that people had is, he's just not taking that chance. We said on the show, he must be watching the show, by the way. Justin, shout out. Thanks for watching the show. Appreciate you.
Hold on. Let me say that. Justin, if you're not, you better start watching. That real.
But like we had talked about, so in the first couple weeks, we saw him get out of the pocket. and there was a guy running deep, and he kind of took the underneath throw, which is nothing wrong. Yeah. Today, it's like he had Pat on the shallow, and he fit in the seam behind it. Like today, it's like he's starting to come out of his shell a little bit.
Okay.
And I thought today was like, okay, if this is the guy that we're going to get,
you're cool with it.
This might be the guy of the future. It might be the guy of the future. I'm just being honest. I mean, I know they talk about.
Hey, y'all heard it here.
I'm saying it might. I said might, didn't I?
Wow.
Might? I don't know.
Hey, Justin, that's a big compliment.
He's showing he did it with his legs, did it with his arm. He took chances today. He protected the ball.
I don't think I ever heard you say that, Ben. And I played with you 11 years.
What I saw today was a guy that I thought showed a lot and showed growth and showed poise and against a defense I think they were top 5 in every category. I think
they were.
I mean, what are we talking about? And it wasn't early on. It was like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Mm-hmm. But they were still. I think he completed his first 10 passes. So yeah, you'd be like, oh,
it was short passes.
But you know what? It's okay. Yeah, I think it was 10 for like 50 yards, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's not really great. But you know what? There were no turnovers. It was efficient, and it's just like he was waiting and waiting, and he took care of it. And then all of a sudden, it's like I scramble, I take a shot. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm throwing the seam ball. Now I'm doing what I have to do. Mm-hmm. What I saw today was a guy that
he's going to grow throughout the season.
That's just going to keep getting better. And now they have to protect him up front. I thought they did a decent job today, right?
Man,
I don't know how many sacks there were.
I know we lost our first rounder, but Moore got in there and played really, really well. So
I don't. So I'm not. There were a couple things. I think Dan Moore's the left tackle. Yeah.
He played really, really
Broderick,
well.
I'd love the bounce back.
Right. That's crazy.
He got benched last week, and I, maybe didn't love the comments after the game that some people didn't love what he said and whatnot, but he got. I assume got forced into it today to play because of the injury. And so, there was one play today that they show a sack where it looked like he went maybe didn't go the right way. But again, I can't take off the TV because he might not. It could have been a back. It could have been anybody.
Could have been a or whatever. Like honestly, he switched positions too. Like man, you could get confused sometimes in your head playing on a different side of the football field. You know what I mean?
Well, people think that you could just play right tackle, left tackle, center. You can't do that.
Right, 100%.
So why do you draft a guy who plays one side in college and then switch him when he gets to the league?
He was so athletic. He was so big that he could play both sides. Like, honestly, when you go into college football, like in your mind, like you already got to know, I got to play guard, center, tackle. You got to be able to play every single position.
Be versatile in college.
If you stuck at one position, like I'm telling you right now, you're only not hurting yourself, but you're hurting the team. You got to be, like Ben said, and a lot of guys that dress out on a game day. You know what I mean? There's only 7 linemen that actually go out there on a game day that you guys should count on to be able to go out there and replace the guy if he gets hurt. So I think Broderick has to do a good job of accepting, like, man, listen, like you're a tackle. Like you got to be a swing tackle in every position. Maybe you go a big tight end in some plays. Like understand the game of football. Like it's just bigger than one position. You know what I mean? So I think he's doing a good job of that. He could win there, play phenomenal today. Obviously, I hate that we lost our first round draft pick, but he'll get better from it, 100%.
Yeah. I think Spence, to answer your question, I think that what happens is you'll draft a guy, right, that maybe played left tackle in college. So you're like, okay, he's going to come to our team, play left tackle. Yeah. And then, but you don't want to necessarily, if you already have a left tackle in there that you maybe don't love, but you like him, it's like, okay, I'm gonna let them rotate in. But say the guy you had, which we will use Dan Moore as an example. I think they probably drafted Broderick to replace Dan, would be my guess at some point. But Dan's like, okay, he's playing well enough. We'll use Broderick and go back and forth, and like Pounce says, as a swing tackle, so that you can see maybe he is a better right, or maybe our right tackle is not going to be it, and we can. But with the plans that it's going to take that left spot. But Dan,
you had so much more pool though, like bro, like honestly,
playing well.
It was who you felt comfortable with, honestly.
There's definitely something to that when you're
100%.
As a quarterback. When you feel, I'm not saying that Justin Fields is going and telling him who he wants, when you've been in the league for a while,
Justin Fields ain't you now. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going and saying it. But if you have a veteran guy that you go in there, you talk to coaches like, hey, listen, I got 2 guys, and I've said this on the show, and I'll say it to other people. I'll keep saying it. I'll say I will take a guy with less talent and more heart
100%. Over
a guy with more talent and less heart. We've had them. We've had guys on our team that we've talked about that have. I won't say his name on this show, but there was a guy that these guys would always talk about that is like he is the most gifted, physical athlete lineman that we've ever had on this team.
Ben, call him out.
No.
Who was it? If I said it, I ain't scared to say it again. Who was it?
No, you're not.
I gotta know who it was. Because I want to say it again.
Everybody needs a Pouncey.
Everyone needs a Pouncey.
You know
but you want a guy with a lot of heart, you know, and that's what it looks like. That's what this crew has, maybe too.
Man.
Like
honestly,
they might not be the most talented group, but they got heart.
Showed a lot. They played a really good team today. They had a really good all around roster, not just by one individual player, but their whole. You look at their roster. You look at that team on the outside perspective of it, you're like, man, this team could be a playoff team or a Super Bowl team. You know what I mean? The simple fact that we went out there and handled business today shows a lot for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Coach Tomlin.
And it wasn't great early, right? Like that's what I'm saying. The battle of attrition, like it was not good early. It was
crazy. It was back and forth, honestly.
But that's what you expect. You expect that, but it's like, okay, we've had those games. We've gone in at halftime. We're like, man, we could do nothing at half, like the first half. Like
can't figure it out.
Crowd's booing us. We just can't do anything. We can't do anything. But it's like, listen, but you're
how hard is
it's
that?
awful. Booed at home is miserable.
Wow.
Booed at home is
by
miserable.
somebody wearing your jersey.
Booed at home is miserable.
Spence, cut it out, Spence.
Awful. But you know what you do? You go into halftime. Like this, if I put myself in the situation today, I was going into halftime tied 10-10, knowing how good their team and their defense was. And I'm like, man, we didn't do anything on offense. And we're tied 10-10 right now. I'm like, hey fellas, let's go out and just don't turn the ball over. That's going to be key. Which again, that's silly tip ball.
Don't let them score fast.
Just
get them off the field,
grinding, keep doing your stuff, and that's what they did. And then what happens? The dam breaks, and then all of a sudden it's like we're able to throw and run. I don't know why he's being so silent with it, man. This dude used to walk in there like, man, y'all tighten up. We need to be a way better team right now.
Yeah, Pounce. That's what let's get into that. What were those conversations like? Because they
didn't happen that often. Don't act like that. If we got booed at home, I might come in and start like I was embarrassed, so I might get on guys. But it was like every week I got on people.
I'm gonna keep it very, very proper and very. You're right, Ben. But I'm telling y'all, it was totally different when we were walking out late.
But I mean,
y'all better start blocking,
right?
So trust me, we appreciate that. Like, man, you gotta have a guy that like trust me.
You gotta read the room a little bit.
100%. Like, trust me, it was like a downplay on any of us. Like, it motivated us to go out there and do better. Honestly.
Well, and I think you have to consider the source too, right? Because you're talking about earlier, you were talking about like, as long as we had 7, we always felt like we had a chance to win. So 100%. When that guy comes out and says something, you're like, oh, so okay.
The coach can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Like, man, trust me, you can get in there and try to motivate the team. Like, unless you have a true leader.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, man, you got to play football to understand this. Somebody that literally walks in there and like push their head in front of everybody else and be like, listen, this is what we're going to do. That's why I tell people all the time, like, man, we was beyond blessed. Like, and I know he don't take a lot of credit for it, and I hate even trying to, like, brag on him on the show, like, but he was that person. Yeah. I looked at him, like, when he ran out the tunnel, I'm like, is he motivated today? And when he ran out that thing inside, I'm like, man, we're gonna have 500 yards passing. Today's going to be easy.
We might win a Super Bowl in week 7.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, people don't they underestimate that part of football. Like, man, you have to have that person that has that it factor. And I don't think like fans or like people that look on the outside of it, like, don't understand the it factor of football.
So, and I don't want to get us away from Steelers, but we can always come back. That it factor, is that something you're born with, or because you're working a lot with youth now, are you able to identify that young? Can you teach it?
Yeah, there are young kids on your team that have it.
Or is it something
your nephew have it? Can you tell yet? He's very talented.
Very talented.
But talent doesn't always mean you have it.
100%. I think the it factor comes after a lot of success, and like it's like in a way, like it ain't even like the hard work you put in, like, man, you got to be gifted with it. Like this thing's way bigger than like the it factor is way bigger than just like an average football player. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I didn't have the it factor. Like, you had to have that certain person like Troy Polamalu.
I don't know.
When you look at,
I'm not trying to gas you
up,
but
the outside spectrum of football, like,
you had it.
I mean, I get all that, being like I had y'all.
I do know what you mean, though.
It's a whole different, like, when you look at like that one player, like, how did that play happen? How did you make that, like, when you throw the football, like, how did it land perfectly right here? Like, certain things that happen in the football game, like, man, it's unpredictable, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I say, like, man, there's certain players in the NFL, when you look at them, like Ben Roethlisberger, a Tom Brady, like, and Antonio Brown, like, it was like a certain it factor. Like, when you looked at them players, like, when they walked on the football field, like, man, everything was like there's all thing about him, you know what I mean? Like, when, and I mean, I was running so long, like, he feels like a brother to me, but like, when he walked in the building, and I know we all looked at him like, even like a spectrum, like a fan, or like however you like as his host, when he walked in the building, like, it made everything seem right. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be easy today. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not a lot of players like that. Like, I get maybe like with the Jets, Aaron Rodgers as an example. Like, I know they got a lot of great players around them. Like they do. They got a phenomenal all-pro players. They got Pro Bowl players around them. Like it's a certain factor. And it's not like something like you walk in, like, you know what, you sign up for this thing. Like, it has to be like, it's gifted over time. Sure. I mean, and he was one of them dudes that had that. And I know he don't take a lot of pride and a lot of like bragging about him and all this stuff. Like, man, Pouncey talking about too, like, y'all see it. This stuff's real. When the hairs are standing up, like, he had that.
Wow. Yeah, I had a mentor one time tell me it's those guys lend courage.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain how to get it. I mean,
like those guys, like you have some guys.
It's not like he does like 500 push-ups per night and
550.
He did
ass. Hold on, you ain't telling me you ain't telling me you doing extra now.
He did a couple hundred just before you came home.
That's what I'm saying. Like all that stuff, you like in your head, like, oh man, it's like set up for him. Like it's really not. You know what I mean? It's like this different spectrum of like how you look at life and like how we move a part of life. Like he had that. And I hate to brag about him so much. I know he's look at him turning red right now.
Can we stop, please?
Nah, but I can't, man, because people got to understand that part of football. Like,
they need to know.
There's a different aspect of football. Like when you're there's a lot of great players, bro. Like trust me, but like the it factor things plays a major part in football. And like I don't think people understand. Like when people draft people, like when you're a GM or something, you draft a player. Like this dude can turn your whole entire spectrum of like as a
do they have it?
Whatever,
have what? Do they have it? Have what?
100%. Like
what's it? It's just it.
Me, you and me. Who do you see in the league now that you would say, oh, that's the it factor? I mean, we're watching obviously right now the Kansas City Atlanta game, which I don't know how Kansas City is losing this, but I think a lot of people would probably say Mahomes has that.
I mean, who else?
Who else? And do you think?
I think I played in the era where there's a lot of it factor guys. Like you had a Manning, you had a Roethlisberger,
right.
Like you had certain type of guys that like you looked at and like, wow, like Brady. But nowadays it's just kind of like. I mean, we're trying to still figure it out. Like Mahomes is the only person like we could really like sit here and brag about. Like, man, you know what? He has that when he walks on the football field. You know what? Every single time he walks on there is a 95% chance that he win that football game. You know what I mean? Well, that y'all watch a lot of games. Like, who else is it? Like,
yeah, I mean, what's tough is the consistency, right? And that you find that out over time. That actually brings up an interesting question because maybe even a month ago, Tom Brady was at the Fanatics Fest that happened at the end of the summer, and he was sitting down with Stephen A. Smith. They were talking about the state of the game, and Tom Brady had mentioned that he believes that the game has been dumbed down. And I'll quote him real quick, and I got a question. I'm curious to hear your take. He said, I didn't start my first year. I think it's a tragedy we're forcing these rookies to start and play early. The reality is the only reason that they are able to is because we dumbed the game down, which has allowed them to, right? And so do you think that I mean, on Tom's comments, no one can really argue with that guy saying it, right? But do you think that's true? Do you think that's true?
I'm like Ben. I'm a part of Ben's era. I know Ben's a lot older than me, but I'm a part of his era.
Well, he said a lot. He said a lot older.
I take that back. Not a lot older.
He said, man,
my mindset is the same as them. Like that, there, like it ain't given to you. You know what I mean? Like that, there's earned over time. Like there's a respectable factor to it. Like I think sometimes now that we give guys too much like accolades and too much like. Clout and who they are, you know what I mean? Like
too early.
It's way too early, and then they sacrifice it. Once they had their pitfalls, like they sacrifice it from like, man, being at this spectrum, and now everyone's looking at you this spectrum. I mean, and
I've gotten a bunch of texts recently talking about why do I think quarterback play is down around the league? Like people were like, what do you think? Everyone. Is it coaching? Is it players? Is it all of it? Like what is it? And I don't have any. I mean, I don't have an answer. I'm not a person, but.
But you are though. Like you give a way better view than what we can give you on it. Like
I know, but I think what's asked of quarterbacks now is different. Like these teams want a guy that is not like a traditional sit in the pocket and throw it and sling it all over the yard and do what they asked us to do. The Mannings, the Bradys, the Rodgers, even that. Like you want to see the flash, you want to see the scramble, you want to see these extra things. I mean, you watch. You know, they want the dual threat guy because they want a guy that can beat you multiple ways. And I think that's, whether that's coming from college, the college game's changed.
That's a political answer,
I don't know. I think coaches want the dual threat guy.
I think it's coaching getting weird.
I think coaching is getting. I think it goes through phases. I think you go through the game where it's like, you know, you go through phases of the NFL where it's like, okay, fullbacks run heavy, play actions, to spreading it out to like, okay, now you got to have nickels and extra DBs and all this stuff, and you want to throw it every single play.
That's true.
To, you know, the RPO was never in the NFL.
Never.
And now it's huge in it. I mean, you watch.
But you see it trickling out as well.
What some of these guys are doing.
You see it trickling out as well. Like, trust me.
I know.
They start doing the RPO with their quarterbacks, and their
Guys start
quarterbacks
getting
get
hurt
hit over and over again.
But I think that they're paying quarterbacks a whole bunch of money, but it's like, it's almost like they don't say this the right way. I don't say it's like they don't care if their guy gets hurt, but it's like, if my guy gets hurt, I got another one.
They rather risk it.
I got another one.
They rather risk it.
There's another one in college. Look at him.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you would talk about quarterback play going down because NBC News actually just wrote an article about the offensive play going down as a whole. And it says here, I'll quote from this article, it says the current per game passing yard average through one game of week 3 is 192.7. And that's referencing Pro Football Reference. That number holds. It would be the lowest passing yards per game since 1992.
Wow, 197 yards.
That's back in the day.
We had 197 yards passing. That was the worst game we played in.
Yeah,
like it was almost like, man, what are we doing? Like, we didn't get 200 yards passing. Like, that's terrible. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I
assume the rushing stats are up there. Like, I assume teams are running more.
Like, I mean, look at our rushing stats.
Yeah,
and we're a team that, like, the Pittsburgh Steelers are known for running the football. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, I think people need to start adjusting. Like, football's changing. Like, there's so many different ways of run, like, scoring touchdowns. Like, there's so many different, like, offensive formations, defensive formations. Like, I think we all need to accept that, like, man, even the quarterback play, like, I'm so used to having a pocket passer. Like, in my mind, like, any running quarterback, like, man, it's not going to be successful. Like, there's no way you can win the championship until someone does it. Like, I mean, maybe Lamar Jackson was going to prove us wrong, but, like, even he didn't. Until y'all show me that a running quarterback and the true pocket passer ain't going to win the Super Bowl, like, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because even Patrick,
I don't know, you know what I mean?
Patrick likes to stay in the pocket. I mean, he does some crazy stuff out of the pocket and makes some crazy plays happen.
Even when he scrambles, like, it's like, oh my God, you didn't get.
He's looking to throw while he's scrambling.
Yes.
He's not looking to run. He can run, and he can run very well, but he's always looking downfield. And I think if you asked him, he would prefer to sit in the pocket and throw from there. It's when things break down when he gets crazy explosive and some crazy things happen. But
they've been exposed a little bit by him trying to make the extra play, by him trying to extend the play. Like, that stuff gets exposed. I'm just telling you, like, the NFL, like, the way the NFL game's set up and the way the athletes are set up, I just don't see the running quarterback and, like, that era happening as of right now. You know what I mean? It's going to take a long time down the NFL path for that actually to happen. I mean, the NFL set up on, let's be serious, star quarterbacks, right? And then defensive players who are great players.
Oh, yeah.
Anything exciting to watch. And then star quarterbacks obviously make the star receivers. And then you got a running back, the Truck is in there, who's a star running back, but, like, who's going to change that? Like, let's be. I don't see a team doing it. We thought the Eagles were going to do it, right? And look how the Eagles are playing this year. Like, when you lose your offensive line, like, use some of the core guys that actually played.
It's like anything. On the team. You've got to prove it for a couple of years. It's not just 1 year. You can have flashes. Quarterbacks can be great for 1 year. And that's why I've said on this show a million times. If you want to ask me how good a quarterback is, I said, give me 3 years. I'll tell you in 3. Yes. Check back in with me in 3 years because a lot of guys can look good for a year, 2 years, but defensive coordinators are going to find a way. You've got to keep beating those guys.
They're going to start reading you. You know what I mean? Unless you're like a real pocket passer, like, be able to spread the ball around the whole entire field. Like, man, you think the read option is going to work the whole entire game? Like, eventually, you know what Coach Tomlin's going to say? A defensive-minded coach, every single time he does that read option, tackle the quarterback.
Well, they did it. I remember doing it in Baltimore.
You remember that?
And it was Lamar or Tyler, like one of the quarterbacks.
Lamar.
They just kept getting mad. Like, I don't even have the ball.
They changed the whole entire scheme.
That's the rule. That's the rule. If the quarterback does that fake, you can hit him. He is now like
no matter if he hands the ball off, go tackle the quarterback.
He'd look at the ref like, why is TJ hitting me? Ref's like,
he's allowed to.
It's legal.
That's what's going on.
Until they change that, I don't ever see the NFL that game changing.
Yeah,
you got to have literally a franchise quarterback. That's why we spend so much money on him. Like, I mean, look, let's be serious. I don't want to say it out loud, but, like, why do you think we pay so much for a guy like this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just real. Like, unless you have that, there's no way you're gonna walk around with that big trophy.
Well, we've seen some rules changes, and you're talking about the changes that the game's had over time. Mel Kiper just recently came out.
Don't say Mel Kiper.
I'm just saying.
Give me Todd McShay, maybe. I'm playing, man.
He's saying,
Mel, shout out to Mel, too.
Yeah. He said, I think just this past week, that he thinks a too high safety coverage should be outlawed and that it's ruining the NFL.
Really?
I heard that he said that. I didn't understand that.
Who said that, Mel?
Mel said that.
Maybe Mel trying to get a couple other likes on Instagram or something, but I mean,
that's an unusual.
Yeah.
When I heard that too, and I don't even know how to comment on that. Like
that was wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like, what does he want? You want like 8 linebackers now? Like,
yeah. What's the solution?
Like,
what do you think about the new kickoff?
I just said that today in the ownership box. I'm like, this is weird. And I love the kickoff play. Like, man, that takes away, like, that's football.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what anyone says, like, man, that play was a staple in football. Like, the return game now, like, the kickoff game is kind of like, why don't you just give them the ball to the 30-yard line and say,
Devin
Hester's
off. The last Hall of Fame special teamer now, like returner, right. Because that's going to ruin
history. Like, there's no way
it's just not going to happen anymore.
You know what I mean? Like,
because you can't.
That
you
play
can't
is weird though. Like I really say, like honestly, that takes away from like the gladiator spot of football.
Yeah. Is it weird because it's new, or is it weird because it's actually taken away?
It's weird because strategy nothing happens. Okay. Like there's no physical aspect.
They're just kicking
to
out
it.
the end zone again. Now you get the ball to 30.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally like the dudes on the kickoff team. Like literally, if you make the ball down there, like you don't have to run on the field. Like they're gonna blow the whistle. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like, man, unless you do an onside kick, like there's no way this play could be exciting. I just think that like football's beyond safe. Like the way we change the helmets, like you could be wearing the padded helmet on top of it. Like the simple fact that I think that stigma is still in people's head. Like, man, we got to change that. Like it's like saying we're gonna go to war and nothing's gonna happen in war. Like, but we're playing football. Like we know what we sign up for. Like there's no like reversing from when you say like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go sign up for football. There's no one gonna hit me. Like it's not realistic. You know what I mean? Like I think we have to accept as like people and human beings. Like, listen, these guys are gladiators. They play a gladiator sport. Like, there's nowhere around like some physical attributes that they got to give into. Like that part's never going to leave away. And the moment we take it away, like, why don't we just play flag football? You know what I mean? Like, it just, some of that thing. I trust me. I'm so old school. I'm like, listen, I signed up for football. I knew everything was going to come from it after football. Like, hell, I ain't complaining living in my house on Los Olas right now. Like, you want me to claim, you know what I mean? Like, you want me to complain 30 years down the line and be like, you mean, you know what, I don't think you should have did it this way. Like, I know what I signed up from day one. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I don't like the other view of the point, like when people sign up for it and all of a sudden like, they retract from like when something happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, man.
There you go.
I can't argue with that.
There you go.
I mean,
I
don't know if you can tell, Pouncey, I never played the game. I'm built like a reader.
But Spence, like, really,
no, but I respect that.
The moment you walked into it, like, you already know what you accepted. You know what I mean? Like, don't run from it now.
Yeah, you make a great argument because I have the same argument for MMA because it's like I think violence is the last resort. I boxed growing up, right? Violence is the last resort. But when you agree, you versus me, we're going into an octagon. Not literally you versus me. That'd be a short fight.
Spence, we're gonna get it in now.
Hey, brother. Hey, brother. You're gonna have
knuckles, baby.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wear a blindfold and hands behind your back. Give me a chance.
Give me one hand. Give me one hand.
But we've made the agreement. We made the agreement. We're gonna go in, all right, and we're gonna use all of our training and our athleticism, to try to make either me or you unconscious, right, and so. That, I mean, in that sport, I get that 100%. I'm all for player safety. Obviously, the worst thing in the NFL is injuries, right? So I'm all for player safety, but you're right. Like,
you know what you sign up for.
You
don't think I'm for player safety 100%. My oldest plays at Alcorn State. I got 3 daughters after that. Like I'm just telling you right now, like I believe in that part, but like don't sign up for something. Don't get in line for it. Like. We all have a option in life. Like either you can do it or you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like the simple fact that you can sign up and do it, like, and then we have this recoil from it. Like once something happens, it sounds like a smack in the face to like people that actually that have the stuff going on. You know what I mean? So like, and I'm an NFL PA. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Like trust me, anything the NFL pays, I think they should pay us 100 times more. But like. I'm on the other side of the spectrum too. Like we know what we did. Like there's no way around it. You know what I mean? Like this is a physical sport. Like. If you don't want to play, like, bro, there's other sports you can play, you know what I mean?
Like golf.
And I know some of these older guys are going to come out there saying this, but like, y'all know what I live, baby. I live on Los Olas. Come holler at me.
That's the most Pouncey response ever. I love it.
Real talk.
Yeah. That is amazing. Last thing I want to do is jump in some news around the league. Sticking with quarterback play. Down in Carolina.
Wow.
Bryce Young gets benched. They bring in the old Red Rocket.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton is.
Shout out to Andy.
And that kind of comes off the heels of that Tom Brady quote of, dumbing the game down, forcing these guys. He goes on into that, Tom Brady goes on into when he was answering that question, talking about the most important thing that teams can do is develop young players. And that we don't have an infrastructure now in the game to develop young players. Do you think that is a result, or him being benched as poor play is a result, just throwing him in there too soon?
I think that's a part on the franchise too.
Yeah. Well, they want to win, right? It's like we got to win now. We don't have time to
David
wait
Tepper's
for
the new owner of the team. Like, obviously, put a lot into the team, but like, in my true opinion from that, like, quarterback is one of the hardest positions when you come to the NFL. Like, to just throw a guy in there.
Yeah.
Like when I came in as offensive lineman, there was 4 of the guys that was in there that can help me lead the way. You know what I mean? Like, they helped me go through the path, like learning the physical attributes to it, like the mental attributes to it. Like, when you go as a quarterback, there's a lot put on you. There's a whole entire franchise, like, and especially him. He was the first overall pick. Mm-hmm. So, like, for him, they wanted to put him in, like, you know what? Go be Ben Roethlisberger in year 11. Like, bro, it's almost like unrealistic. Like,
sure,
give him the downfalls, the pitfalls. Like, and if you are going to throw him there, give him the tools that help him out. Like, first of all, he had a defense is like probably number 27th in the league.
Yeah.
And there's 32 teams. I mean, let's name it right now. Is there a receiver that you know right now, except for Deontay Johnson that got traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to go there? Like, it's like, man, you set this kid up for, like, we set him up for, like, absolutely failure from day one. You know what I mean? Like, there's never ever been like a real team around him. Like, and then
I think he's had 2 coaches already in 2 years.
100%.
Well, that was what I was.
And all of a sudden, you put all this pressure on him. Like, you know what? You got to go out there and be the number 1 team in the NFL. Like, bro, it's not realistic. Like, and then you're gonna bench him.
Yeah.
As one of your leaders and starter on the team. Like, bro, listen. You're going to bench him to bench everybody else. Bench the line, bench the receivers, bench the tight end.
31 teams this year.
100%.
And I hate too, like, it's like then a report comes out that he's been making the same mistakes. Like, someone says he's been making the same mistakes over and over. Why was that not talked about? Like,
why would I talk about week 1?
Yeah, why would I not talk about that?
Like, in spring training.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Once he's
like,
benched, all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh yeah, he made all kinds of, he made the same mistakes over and over.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was curious. Like, is that, outside looking in, is that somebody who was unable to translate their success in college to the NFL, or is that organizational issues? Is that something that's...
No, because I tell you all the time, me and my brothers talk about this stuff. I played with Ben Roethlisberger. Mike played with Ryan Tannehill and Chad Henne. Who you think has had a better career? We're twin brothers. You think I was so much like a much greater player than him? Like, let's be serious. Like, this is my older brother at this time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still is. You know what I mean? It's like I tell people all the time, like, it's a situation. It was a 10-year draft around. Like,
you almost have to get lucky. I mean, you got to be
honestly, like real talk. Me and Mike are a great testament of it, because we came in the same time. Yeah. Like, we're twin brothers with identical same players.
Yeah.
But we had different teams. Yep. I had Ben Roethlisberger, I had Troy Polamalu, I had James Harrison, I had Heath Miller, I had Antonio Brown.
We got all you just named gold jackets.
I got lucky to go to Pittsburgh. I mean, I was blessed to come here. I went to a team that I didn't have to play. I mean, I ended up having to play right away, but I didn't have to have the pressure. Had a great defense, good offense. Like, you have to get. You have to, but you got to get. I was blessed. I got lucky to go to this team.
You had a great.
Like, there's no reason to draft a quarterback at that pick.
100%.
So it's just 100%. You have to get. It's got to be the situation, and so that's always like, man. To be the number 1 quarterback taken isn't always the easiest. Like, being right in that 10 to 15, because you're still going to get on a good team. 11. So you can still get on a good team. 11. Oh. So I don't know. Anyway,
I'm waiting for because
y'all can't listen to Ben's opinion. Honestly, like, this guy he should have been the first overall pick. Like, let's be 11, serious. Like, 11. He went to Miami, Ohio. If you went to University of Florida, you'd be the first pick in the NFL draft. Let's be serious.
Real Miami.
Real Miami. The original Miami.
Speaking of quarterbacks, speaking of quarterbacks, your nephew,
right,
is playing.
Honestly, my little nephew, he's honestly. And he has Ben's picture. I had a signed picture of Ben. I know he has signed autographs, but Ben signed his picture for it. It still hangs in my little nephew's his room.
That's my guy.
And he plays in 10-11U.
They're good team too.
Honestly, they're amazing. He got me from being a couch potato to actually coaching now. I'm the O-line coach for our 10 and 11U football team. And he's brought a whole different aspect of my life, and he brought a whole lot of joy to my life. I didn't know coaching could be so fun.
Is it stressful too, or is it still fun at this age?
It's still fun.
Still fun.
Yeah. There's no stress to it. Like, you don't have so much accountability on the kids. Like, you more like have more accountability. Like, man, just go have fun. enjoy the football game, enjoy being around your teammates, like, because we're in Little League, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, like, life ain't that serious. Like, man, enjoy the game, enjoy being around it, enjoy the accountability, the responsibility of being a football player. Like, this is what you learn in the younger age of it. Now, obviously, as you grow in, like, the high school and the college level and the NFL level, there's a lot more responsibility and a lot more accountability to it. But, like, this point here, I think when we're coaching kids in the youth football league, it was like getting the parents involved, getting the kids involved, like having them loving on a day-to-day basis. And they brought a lot of joy to my life. Obviously, my oldest is at Alcorn, and my three youngest are at and they're girls. So sports and that part of my life has been a lot more difficult. But I think my brother and my little nephew that brought a whole different aspect of life to me, and it brought a lot of joy. Like when he texted me that Benjamin won the 10 of you, the golf tournament, I'm telling you right now, like, that brought so much joy to him. And I know you don't talk about it a lot, but like, I'm just telling you, like, when your kids and like the aspect, like adults, you get stuck in this way, right? And like, even me as an adult, it's hard to change the way I live, like the hard way I do a day-to-day life. But like, kids can change the world. Like they change your view even as an adult. Like, man, when the kids get around you, like you hear like the things they got going on, the way they view life, like it changes you as a person. You know what I mean? And I think that part of life has like dumb me down in a way, you know what I mean? Like gave me a different aspect of looking at things, like getting out my little shell of like being around this 2-mile radius that we live in. Because, you know, as an adult, like how far do you go in life? Like as an adult, you live in a 2-mile radius of like what life is, you know what I mean? Like, I think kids in this way has brought me a whole different aspect of life. And it just brought a lot of joy to my life, honestly. Besides my daughters and like the things I got going on business-wise, the kids and the youth football team have like changed my life in a way positive.
Different perspective,
aspect.
Right? Different priorities, different thoughts, different love. You know, we talk about that a lot on this show and just in
you
life,
start
like
telling
how
them your
much
path and like the things you've been through, like you see it in them. You know what I mean? It's like,
we had a conversation with the kids this week, Ashley and I did, and where we had to like sit down with them and basically say, listen, I know you guys think that we're hard on you, but really what we're trying to do is we're trying to like there's no real handbook to be a parent.
There ain't.
We just told them, like, listen, it may seem like we're hard on you guys, but we're just, all we can do is tell you from like life experiences.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to help you either not make the same mistakes we did or learn from the things we did, or you know, just to find real value in what we're saying. Like it may come across like we're on you and we're, why not let us do this? Why? It's because we know what's best for you. You don't know it yet because you're still too young and you see the world like in like a different kind of way.
But don't we can see crazy
like
when you say that at first though? Like they look at you like, man, what are you talking about?
And you just have to you just have to remind them, like, listen, we're doing this out of love.
Yes.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about loving them to the best of our ability. And
but Ben, tell them what you got going on, bro. I tell people about you all the time. Honestly, like we had a blessed life, and this dude, he came in, and when he changed his life, he changed my life. Yeah, he made me look at things different, like the way he views family. Obviously, Ashley came in, and she was a big part of his life. But like, I take a lot of things he did because I was him. Like he came in as a big spectrum of life. Like he had a lot of accolades come in. Like everyone was like laying at your feet, and then he's seen the other side of life. You know what I mean? Like he changed me.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to what we say. Like football is what we do. It's not who we are. 100%. And I think it's not. You can tell young guys.
I know you always say that quote right there, but that's a hell of a point, bro.
It's not easy as a young guy to accept that, because you're like, no, football's all I know. It's all and it's like, man, it takes more. Like it took my faith, it took my family for me to realize that like football's not number one in my life.
But tell them what you do now, bro. I don't think people really understand what you do.
Well, they watch the millions that watch the show now. The millions around the world.
But tell them though, bro. Like, no, real talk, like, bro,
we're having. That's what I think. Like, that's what this show is special. I told Spence today. We just heard another person that's given their life to Christ from watching our show. And to us, that's why we're doing this. This is our ministry right now, or mine. And so we're just having fun. You talked about how important it is to be good role models, to be, you know, the best husband, best father I can be. So I think that's one of the greatest responsibilities that we get in this earth. Like I tell the kids, like, I thank God every night that he allowed me to be your earthly father. Yeah. You know, and that's, to me, that's what it's about. And I know you have 2 daughters and you've got the kids and the football
4.
teams like your kids, right? It's just, it's a blessing.
That's plus 35 right there. So, oh my gosh, that's almost 40 kids.
It's it's fun watching you coach those guys, and you always send the highlight clips to the group and stuff. So it's fun. I always love to get the updates on them. 100%. So it's really cool.
But honestly, Ben, I will say this though, bro. Like, you motivated me, and I will say this. I hate to say it, public in front of everybody, but you motivated me to be a better person.
Oh, I love you, brother.
Change your life around, like, and I'm telling you, I've been around you a long time, bro. Like, trust me, like, you've done a lot of the great things. Like besides football part, like the man you became, what you turn your life into, like, bro, I look up to that shit, bro.
Thank you,
like,
brother.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm very, very proud of you. Like, I know I'm a lot younger than you in life, but I'm proud of
Why
what
does he
you
keep
done.
talking about the
You
age?
say
He keeps talking about the age
he does
thing,
say a
man.
lot,
He keeps saying
too.
a lot.
He's a
like,
lot
I'm a lot
older.
younger, a lot
I
I
younger.
mean, I came in. This dude was already. I mean, he was already a legend. I was
40?
a rookie. Like, let's be serious. Like,
Oh no, man! Listen, it means a lot that you
this
came on the
guy's
show again.
21.
It means a lot that you came on the show, Pouncey, to make time for us. I am truly blessed to call you my brother, my friend.
I love you to death. Bro.
This has been awesome. I'm so what a best first guest that we could ever ask for.
You can't. Yeah, it's like I said. I told you this before we started filming.
Spence, you know me and you day one on this show, baby.
That's Florida Boys.
This
Hold it
us
down.
three, man.
Hey.
I know y'all got a new
Dude,
host.
hey.
I know y'all got a new host, but like, hey, Pouncey the seat today, baby. That real, man.
Hey, last time he was on the show, we were on Monday Night Football. You remember
We
when
were
I
on
came
the
on?
show.
Bro, how crazy is that?
Do you remember that?
He
I
introduced me
remember
as the best golfer ever. And I'm telling you right now, people still laugh at it. Man, do you remember Ben? I said, yes, I remember that.
that's
Trust
so
me.
funny.
He embarrassed me.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
amazing.
funny.
Yeah, well, Pounce, I love you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much,
Appreciate you,
man.
man. This has
The
been
best.
amazing. Tell them where they can go get your liquor real quick as we're landing this plane.
So listen,
Everywhere it seems
yeah,
like.
yeah. Let me
I
guess,
will
Giant Eagle.
say Giant Eagle for sure, but we are blessed, man. 25 different states. We branded with the Hard Rock. So we'll have our mango. It's a pineapple mango mojito and a yuzu lychee lemonade nationwide and even in the UK, baby. Shout out to Nick Arenas and the Hard Rock, man. Shout out to y'all, man. And the Motlow family, the Indian tribe, for sure.
All right, there it is. If you are not already, go ahead and follow at Football with Ben on Instagram. Stay up to date on what we're doing. Give Dad Tired a follow as well. And we will see you guys next time.